Hello, everyone. It's me, Woki here. It's late at night while I'm recording this. You can hear my cat in the background, but I just wanted to address some stuff before you watch this episode of To Be Released. First of all, I want to say that there was some internet troubles on my end, so there was a lot of people weren't able to hear me on the other side, but I was able to it was weird and complicated. So if you feel like the episode was off a little bit, it's because of that. I'm looking into the troubles with a lot of the connection stuff, but it's for some reason Discord really does not like our podcast at all, and I can't figure out why. I think it's because of me. The second thing is because it's been a while since. No, it's not been a while. We were able to address a lot of stuff in this episode, but the one thing we didn't address is the fact that in between time, Japan got 100 stones. So let me just say, Japan got 100 stones. That's pretty cool if you play Japan. Of course, Global always has a problem with that. And that's just the way it goes. So I just wanted to bring it up now because I have a feeling that a lot of people on Global would be going, and Japan would be like, what about the 100 stones? How come you don't talk about that Japan got 100 stones for being number one, but Global didn't? And I'm going to just say right now, it's because there wasn't time. And even if we did, I feel we've said enough times that, it is what it is. Sometimes I hope that when Global gets Ultra Instinct and they make number one, because they will, they get just as much stones, just as much orbs, same everything. It's just a waiting game. And if you're impatient, play the Japanese version. But if you're patient, I'm sure your patience will be rewarded. And if it isn't, you should speak up about it. But make sure it's actually significant. If you get 95 stones and you start crying about 5 stones, and then you'll lose me. But if they hit number one and you get 50 stones when we got 100, then cry out. But you guys know what I'm saying. Anyway, please enjoy the rest of the episode. I will keep trying to make this show better. I swear. God, this connection thing's a bummer. Anyway, thank you, and hit the theme song. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Be Released. I'm here with Jax.
How's it going?
Zenrot.
Hello, everybody.
Konel.
Yes.
And also a random hope might be joining us at some point. But for now, this is our crew for the time being. And we're also going to start with Japan, because Zenrot needs to go eat soon, and then he'll come back later. So, sorry, Konel. We'll wait to talk about the one thing Global has later. Alright, let's start. In Japan, Battlefield 2.0 showed up, which is, if you don't remember Battlefield 2.1, not 2.1, what the fuck am I talking about? 1.0, it's the Plants vs. Zombies mode that had Dragon Ball characters in it that was very bad because it was not balanced well. And now it's back and it's kind of like Mega Man, but not like Mega Man because it's just Dokkan.
So back is maybe a little generous because you play it for an hour tops and you're done forever because the rewards don't recycle.
Yeah. So I don't understand the thought process here, because this is the one way you can get a dupes for your Goku Ginyu, a unit that's very good. But if this is your first time playing,
original LR Ginyu now.
Yeah, that too. You can get him too. 2 cards that are pretty good for free to play sense, and
you could either choose one or the other though, and that's all you ever get for forever, basically. That's how little you get.
You can't get enough medals to finish him.
Yeah, you also, by the way, because I have LR Ginyu, you don't get enough medals to get the Goku Ginyu.
It is a little early to just say one thing, though, because we've decided that it comes back weekly. We don't know if that means the rewards come back weekly, but there's a mission you get 1,200 or 500 by completing it weekly. But there's a chance that when reset hits, you'll also get the rewards again for clearing it. If that's the case, that might make some sense. But as it stands right now, there's no way you can get this done.
Yeah, it's a real dumb thing they've done. I understand maybe they did it to be a little bit more I guess, cautious to begin with, but then they put like a bunch of good stuff in the fucking shop. They put both the LR Ginyus, they put like extra box space, more stamina, more everything, some Elder Kais, potential orbs, like all this good things, and then you can't get any of it.
Yeah.
So what's
one thing? A potential orb is what, 8,000, and you get 1,500 a week. So if that's the case, it would take you like 2 months to be able to get one thing of orbs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then I also think maybe that it's not finished yet, because in the teaser things for it, they show that there's a way to do battles with, like, you fight 4 dudes and then you fight the main guy. And of the 3 levels we have, you only fight the 2 guys. You only fight 2 and then you fight the boss. So maybe there's more to come?
Yeah, an expansion on it. You're right, because I thought the same thing. It's just, in terms of difficulty, it's just not possible after a while to, be able to fight 3 people in a boss after you fought the 2 people in a boss, and etc.
Yeah, because, by the way, this also has, like, extreme levels of just being a fucker, because the bosses have crazy health bars.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's very difficult.
It's like Super Battle Road if you could continue, but then you're continuing, like, with shitty units.
Yeah.
So you have 1 shot, and then if you miss your shot, you basically are fucked. Because there's, like, nothing else for you to do.
It's also oddly balanced, because it's the same people you fight. And when I did this, I had the people with me at the time tell me what types to use. You can take a single team of agility with you, or 2 teams of agility, and you'd only use those once, because you only fight a strength user twice, I believe, but you fight all the other types of users 3 times. I believe the same is also for intelligence. So it's kind of unbalanced in terms of teams you need to take. If you take a straight 25, 25, 25 of each type, or 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, you actually end up screwing yourself.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I also think at least it seems like maybe Battlefield at least feels better than the other version, because at least the other version was like a pure, like, slog of trying. At least this one's just literally just playing Dokkan.
Yeah, you're playing Dokkan. I think that was important, you're still playing Dokkan. You're not playing, as you said, Plants vs. Zombies.
Yeah. You have to beat Plants vs. Zombies to get to a fight where you chances are will lose, because you used your good units to get to the fight.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's also, this one has, like, a thing where you can actually retry after you lose once. So, I guess in theory you have multiple chances to win, but after a while you will run out of dudes and just lose. Seems inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
In that case, I recommend people who are playing that to make it's essentially just a sub team. Just create a team that's going to just exist solely to be a sub slot.
I mean, this mode was great for me, who spends their time on stupid units. So I actually had, like, a good tech team that was all free-to-play dumb units that were rainbowed. So I could easily handle, like, the early agility fight and with no problem, and save my good tech units for later. And then I realized that those were my good tech units, and I kind of, like, fucked myself over. But,
Oh, it's hilarious, dude. I had a B-Pan. She was Dokkaned. I think I would have died if she didn't stun and full heal me on the turn while additional attacking and healing me again. So just because the B-Pan ended up winning Battlefield, I was like, oh, wow. So it's those random units you can't think of will sometimes save the day.
Yeah. So that's Battlefield for the time being. I think it has more... It's funny enough, it's less ambitious than the other version, but also more playable. Because it's just
Yeah.
Because it's not as miserable?
Yeah, exactly. There was a certain level...
the reward thing, we'd be okay.
Yeah, if they can fix the reward thing, that'd be good. So that's Battlefield. Next there was a whole buttload of, I get episode 130 release, and Dokkan decided, like, I guess it's time for us to go releasing units again. So they decided to start doing it again, and we have a new banner, which is Jiren and Ultra Instinct Goku, who now Dokkans finally. They finally released the Ultra Instinct Dokkan, and he Dokkans into the same, like, unmastered form of UI, but then he has the transform
he gets
effect.
His shirt back.
Does he get the shirt back?
He gets the shirt back.
So it's a Great Saiyaman Super Saiyan, where he loses the glasses in the first pick, and then when he Dokkans, he gets them back.
So the shirt is way better than without the shirt for the black hair. So it's a net positive all around.
And go ahead. Sorry.
I would say to give Bandai a little credit for this banner was very nice of them. The only actual real Yu unit is Jiren. Like a lot of these guys you may have had already, like all the Keflas and crap, they all dokkan from previous banners, and some of those were on guaranteed SSR banners. I mean, Bandai's done a lot worse than this. I think people are giving them a little hard time on this.
Yeah, the only part that sucks is realizing that you're summoning on Dokkan. That's the part where it kind of rubs you the wrong way.
That's true.
Also, Jiren, if you actually do roll him, he creates a very powerful free-to-play team, because those farmable units you can create, they have passes unlike any other unit in the game right now. Those passive just, the more unit you have of that type on the team, the stronger they just get for just having them. It makes for a very good free-to-play team.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how I don't know when it exactly started. Maybe it was a signal of them bringing in Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who was free to play but kind of useless, but since then they've been on a good roll of releasing free to play units that are actually fun to use. Not game breaking, but at least like really fun, and if you're free to play and you have nothing else, they're very good for that exact reason.
In the advent of the third year, them adding that Ginyu Force, which is actually like the strongest free-to-play team in the game, and this Jiren team, it's very good for players who just don't have anything to use.
Yeah, especially for the biggest problem with category leads is when you summon a category leader is that you don't ever have a team to back them up. But if you start playing right now and you re-roll for Jiren, all you need to do is literally play the Tournament of Power, and you will get enough units to have a good Tournament of Power team until you can maybe roll and try your luck to try and get some more Tournament of Power dudes like the Ultra Instinct Goku and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, like, even if you don't manage to roll the Ultra Instinct Goku, you can still free-to-play farm the physical one, and he still fits on the Tournament of Power team under Jiren, so it still works out.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Tournament of Power team might be my favorite, because like you guys said, that the free-to-play team is really strong, but unlike the Ginyus, it's rewarding if you're not free-to-play also, because there's really good units in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ultra Instinct Goku, it's got Kefla.
Yeah, and unlike the Ginyu Force will unfortunately be always that team. There will never be any changes.
Yeah.
Unless they start releasing some duo pairs and they go like, this is Jace and Berter, the LR, and now you can join them to the team.
They did that pretty specifically, though.
Say it again?
No, I'm just saying, they did the Ginyu Force very specifically, because they're their own farmable thing every day of the week now.
Yeah. And Tournament of Power has room to grow because they will keep adding Tournament of Power dudes. Even when
100%.
Even when you think they've run out of people, they will go like, do you remember that weird scientist guy? Well, we added him to the game, and he's SSR for some reason.
Oh, yeah. I'm still holding out for Dispo. I want that rabbit so bad.
Yeah, there you go. There's still people from Jiren's side of the team that never got added. There's more room for weird wolf
After
guys.
the final episode, we'll get Out of Destruction Topo. Oh, spoilers, I guess. Topo.
Okay.
Disco, and the whatever you call it, the new Vegeta,
Oh yeah, Rage Vegeta.
Super
we're calling it
Saiyan.
nowadays.
Yeah. I believe
Super
they call it
Blue.
Vegeta.
Extra blue, yeah,
The extra blue Vegeta.
more blue.
Yeah, and then hopefully we'll also
We
get...
end up with the same name. Oh, like and Blue has done.
The same name, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Also, maybe maybe they'll come when Jiren gets his Dokkan, because by the way, Jiren does not Dokkan. That's to be released later. They figured you waited.
The people have been waiting so long for Ultra Instinct, and they finally Dokkan him, but they're like, but we can't let them be completely pleased. So we're not going to let Jiren Dokkan yet.
Gotta keep him on that string.
Yeah, which I don't fully understand, but whatever. It's fine. Ultra Instinct Goku's the one. Jiren's kind of like the side prize as far as I'm concerned, just because that, even though the card is pretty good, even though it's kind of silly, because he gets a 120% attack boost, right? But then also
His passive is actually nice, dude, because he's basically Chaozu or Jaco that you always use, because he has the whole chance of stunning everyone on the turn thing mechanic now.
He does, which is funny because he can now be used in like one of those teams that uses those dudes, but also that effect is completely useless in most modern Dokkan festivals because most bosses can't be stunned.
Yeah.
Like they're immune to the stun part of Jiren's passive. But it's fine. It's one of those things like
basically a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta plus Jocko.
what everyone would want in the world.
The ideal unit, Super Saiyan 4 Jocko.
If Jiren is actually the alternate universe where Vegeta and Jocko put on the Potara earrings and they fuse together, that's why he's insanely buff and also kind of gray.
He does need more love. Jaco is a great character. Maybe it's just because I'm like spoiled from the movie, but I like them.
I mean, he is nice. He just kind of disappeared.
I think.
He disappeared for the Tournament of Power because he's not.
Like them, or is it just a chance?
Say it again, Cornell.
If it's them, or is it different? Does it always proc on?
It's 120 chance, but I think the chance is pretty good because I get it all the time. Part of his passive is literally Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, the 120% attack and defense.
So yeah, it's a pretty good chance of stunning.
Dokkans, he's just gonna go up to like 140%, 150 maybe. I don't know. 150% attack and defense is pretty wild.
Yeah.
You will basically be a stronger Super Saiyan 4 at that point.
His form, he'll get the transformation into veiny head Jiren.
Weird penis-shaped Jiren with
Yeah.
no shirt. That would
Swole
be
Jiren.
Yes, so somehow more swole. Fucking Kaiba Jiren. The one that just can't stand anything. So yeah, I think that's... Oh, also, I should mention, just because it's real funny to me, is that the Super Saiyan gods got bad Dokkans, and then they gave the good Dokkans to rebirths.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
They really did waste that. I was just out of nowhere with
For
those guys.
so long, but the when is
know.
Super Saiyan God gonna Dokkan is like the biggest meme for the past like year and a half at least. And then they came out and they got like 5% added to their passive, and also the STR one
Lost. Yeah.
prepared for battle.
Yeah, he lost the link, and then also did not get into the Tournament of Power category for some reason.
Tournament
Yeah.
of Power, only the AGL one is.
It's like they couldn't get that. They had to double shaft them. It was so odd.
It's so weird that they shafted that, especially because the Agility Super Saiyan God, for people who don't remember the old times of Dokkan, was one of the strongest units in the game. Like, he was... For a long time, it was like, if you're going to reroll, go for Super Saiyan God, the Agility one. And then when STR came out, it goes like, either having one of the two is fine, because like they have different utilities to them.
When SDR first came out, that was the first time they gave him like because Bardock came out with them, and they gave him a brand new link that only two of those guys shared. So that was kind of the first time they did like these.
That was
units.
what, First Awakened or whatever.
Yeah, the First Awakening, something like that.
They had that.
Instinct has, because I know the STR Godku is really, really good with Ultra Instinct.
And then he's also, he's good with him, but then also he's not in the Tournament of Power, so you can't use him in that team. So if
Ultra
you're,
Instinct's the God
The ol-
team.
yeah,
The
you
only
can
thing
use,
that Agility lost out on is Strength now has the better art, because Agility has now officially downgraded itself.
I think the Agility art is fine. It's
No,
just,
it's not bad. It's just the new Strength one. Whoever did it did a phenomenal job. Like the Goku flying in the air, the dragon around him. It looks incredible.
oh yeah, the jumping dragon punch kind of look.
Oh yeah.
Literally doing a Shoryuken, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just super bummed
Speaking of-
out. I'm,
Q, I'll be back.
okay, Zenrat
Okay.
will be back. I just feel like they really could have just not Dokkan the Super Saiyan gods at all.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere. People have been waiting for like they could. You know how they've been always doing this? Is like when something new comes out, they'll Dokkan 2 alongside of it. But this has nothing to do with the Super Saiyan gods. They could have easily just waited on that one.
It also kind of kills any hope you had for the Battle of Gods event, where there would be a new Super Saiyan God, and then they would Dokkan, and then there would be a new Beerus, and then everyone would be happy. But then
The
when
only hope at this point is to be like an LR Super Saiyan god or something.
now all those hopes are dashed, and I'm just super bummed out about it, especially since the original Agility one got me through so many Dokkan festivals.
It did look incredible too.
Yeah. And then the rebirths that usually are bad are pretty good because Kale got one, and then so did Khalifa. How do you say her name?
Kefla, Kale, and Califia all got a Dokkan.
Yeah, cauliflower. Those three, but the three Saiyan ladies that had cards before, they all got.
The thing is with Cauliflower, man, is she was always good just because her dodge thing was the most ridiculous thing in the game. And it just made it more ridiculous by giving her a Dokkan and by making her stronger.
Yeah, I have her rainbow now because when I was chasing Kefla, I was able to get like 5 of her.
She was the only reason I was able to beat Agility Super Battle Road was strictly because of her dodges.
Yeah, and they're...
Remember Candy Vegeta?
Oh, I'm sorry, say it again, Kono.
It's like you don't even remember Candy Vegeta.
The candy ball dodges, yeah. Actually, I believe Cleffa actually has a higher dodge chance than even he does.
Really? That's kind of...
He's at 60 before dupes, or before dupe system, and he can go to like 50 and he gets to 60, something like that.
He is farmable free to play, so he is easier to get than a rainbow cauliflower, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Rainbow him, but to max his dodge is, cheap and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I clocked Khalifa at 10 dodges in a row. That's her maximum. That was insane. Never seen a Dokkan card dodge 10 fucking times.
Yeah, that is kind of insane. And then also the Kefla card is the like main unit for the Potera link, but it's a rebirth. But she gives like 150% to the Potera units.
Yeah, that's the only thing about this banner that's so confusing is like the main pullable cards, they all Dokkan, but the free-to-play cards are the ones you basically have to use on the team because they're the ones who have the built-in passives that make your Tournament of Power card stronger.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I don't know what was the decision behind it, but it works out in the end, I guess. There's not enough free-to-play love out there.
That's true. Kefla, though, her Dokkan, her leader, makes her outright an incredible, Katara leader, right outside if you don't have the LR fusion, obviously.
Yeah, she's mine because I don't have the LR. I was not able to pull the LR Super Vegito.
In Battlefield, when they force you to make a sub-leader, if you can do one team, you can use your Katara lead as your LR and then her as your sub-leader, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it'll be all good from there. And besides that, I think that's kind of all that's been going on in Japan, as far as I'm aware. Because it was mainly the super stuff in Battlefield. So let's move on to Global. Oh, sorry, was there something else?
No, it was just like a last thing. It was just the Ultra Instinct Goku fight, or Master Ultra Instinct Goku fight. It's actually a pretty tough fight. It's funny, there's a phase in there, they'll make you fight a basic Spirit Bomb Goku. It's the old strength one. You'll think nothing of it first and ult you, and if he does, you instantly die. His Spirit Bomb will hit you for 3.6 million damage or something. It's nuts.
Yeah, so can you counter that? I assume yes, because it's just a super.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jiren is able to not get killed by it, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I actually didn't know what the mechanic was myself. I went in there, and Goku attacked first. I finished the phase previous, so it went into the phase, and he started first. I'm like, well, he won't ult me first. There's no way I could dodge then. Yeah, he just Spirit Bombed me, I instantly died. I'm like, maybe I just gotta use a Ghost Usher here and just kill him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Jiren has some kind... I think Jiren is literally the only unit in the entire game that has a, thing. But when I tried to use Google Translate, all it said is that you needed a girl and it will stop it, but I don't think that's accurate at all. So, but
a girl.
Yeah, because I don't actually know what Jiren is. I'm just assuming he's a dude based off of everything.
Well, also, the passive wouldn't really make sense in Goku. It's like, why would a girl just suddenly stop Goku's Spirit Bomb? This kind of things doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, Google Translate, not the best in the world. It turns out.
But yeah, we could go on the Global. That was just the last thing I had on JP.
Yeah. That fight's also pretty cool from, going through all the different phases of UI Goku as well. It seems like they put a slightly more effort than they usually do into Dokkan festivals.
Oh, yeah. You could tell with that nice song too they have too when you fight them.
Yeah. All right, Connell, this is your time to shine. Global.
Hooray.
Here's the one thing that I'm pretty positive is going on in Global is that they added an Extreme Z Awakening ticket that was not in Japan. That you can buy.
You can buy.
That you have to buy if you want to use, right?
No. There's it just lets you pull it's a 5-unit GSSR pull on the EZA banner. Is all it is. And it's not a featured thing. It's just a GSSR. Disappointment from Pilaf's Treasure Trove, which seemed like it might be kind of a cool thing at first and has turned into just ripoff after ripoff.
Just kind of like Pilaf himself, the ultimate ripoff artist.
Yeah, I heard some people talking about how they thought it was a Dokkan Fest and they did polls and they got like Tech Vegeta and stuff. It's like, ooh, ouch.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of, it's Japan had the same banners, the EZA banners. It's like 3 featured Dokkan Fest cards and then a bunch of really wanted one of those 3 cards. It's a really good chance because they're split across the regular featured rate. But
did JP have the same banner? I thought we got some sort of stone that we could pick Goku from.
No. That was the same banner. They released a banner when Super Saiyan 3 Goku came out, and the stone thing was a thing from anniversaries.
Also, it's just good timing because I was like, hey, if you don't have the EZA, just grab Goku with the stone.
Yeah, kind of. It was just like really good timing for us, and unfortunately for Global, all they got was the potential to just kind of get a GSSR and get fucked, which is maybe the ultimate sign of Dokkan's horrible gacha system.
Yeah, they treat their global players very badly.
They do, but also they treat JP just as bad. It's just that sometimes we get stuff, but then they don't see the aftermath where you spend 300 stones and get shit, where you don't get anything good, and you just kind of look and go like, I regret everything I've done up to this point.
There's no getting away from the gacha in either of them, so
no, we
equally fucked.
Yeah, we exist in the same equality that is shitty banners that have shitty SSRs, and you are more likely to get one of those.
Well, I mean, at least JP doesn't have Pilaf's banner. Because that stuff, or Pilaf Treasure Trove, that stuff is really just nothing but a ripoff.
It is. But they also have Optimal Pecan, so really, how bad can it be?
The Treasure Trove at first seemed kind of interesting. Like, I think one of the first deals was like $8 for some stones and a car and a token that you could pick a card from. Like, I got the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan that turns into a pretty good support for agility off of that.
Yeah,
and then it just got worse.
When Pilaf's Treasure Trove first showed up, I actually thought like, oh, this would be a good way to get some deals, and I was actually kind of sad it wasn't in JP, because that first deal was actually really good, and I think from there, after the whole fucking ability orb debacle, where they wanted you to pay they asked you to pay like $20 for orbs you would get on a single run. I think that's kind of where the shine came off of Pilaf. And it started.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a shame because I think there is a lot of ways they could have made Pilaf's Trove a really good way of making deals that aren't just like, here's a bunch of stones, because that's maybe the worst thing about the deals in Dokkan is that all you get is stones, but then you use those stones to get fucked in banners, so you're spending money to. It's like the never-ending cycle of I spend money and then I get hopefully lucky. But at least with the Pilaf stuff, it seemed like maybe you could get maybe some more interesting stuff, like the ability to pick out a card or something.
Yeah, just beyond just constant stones all the time. Like, some people like, some potential orbs here, some old Kais here and there, etc.
Yeah.
And they've done some decent stuff. Like at Christmas, I want to say there was a banner that gave you cards for the GSSR polls that were there as part of the Christmas banner, and it wasn't terribly priced. I can't remember the price off the top of my head. I remember thinking if I wanted to pay money for Dokkan anymore, I would probably end up buying that.
Yeah.
It was GS. It ended up giving you like GSSR pulls on a really good banner.
I remember that's where a lot of people got like Ultra Instinct Goku, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't running the most gimmicky account in the world, maybe I would.
Yeah, if you
tempted by
weren't
that
so whole hog into the Vegeta aesthetic.
account, and I never have to worry about spending money. So
Yeah, it works out for you the best, I think. Are you basically fearful of the day when they release that new Vegeta?
yeah. Well, I'm already fearful of the 3rd anniversary too, because like I really want I really want to run an all Vegito team, to be honest.
That would be pretty good too.
Yeah, people aren't really talking about it, but LR Vegito and LR Gogeta, they're the strongest LRs in the game by a landslide. Like, there's no competition anymore. They are the best.
Yeah, and it's something that those are the kind of cards that are going to have long repercussions for the future, but it's not here yet, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Is there anything else? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying.
Golden Frieza, Angel Golden Frieza.
Okay, there you go.
It's been pretty slow the last couple weeks. I mean, Easy A Goku has been. It's kind of challenge, right? You get to try to do things like cheese it with Devilman, and there's more strategy. I think it's interesting to see the strategies people come up with for things like the Easy A fights that are not as straightforward.
Isn't it good though that Easy or Frieza's here? Because I thought Easy was only possible later on with the Golden Frieza team, and that was not the case in Japan because he wasn't there in the banner anymore.
Yes, that was the case, because I remember because people were like, Golden Frieza came out, and it was like, no one pulled on it, and then Super Saiyan 3 Goku came out, and then the two units that were most helpful during that fight, Super Saiyan 3 Broly and Golden Frieza, nobody pulled on.
Yep. So Global did get a little lucky in that sense because they can at least pull on the unit they need to go all the way.
The only thing that
It's a very cash grabby thing to do, though, right? It's like, here's a fight that you really need. Here's a fight for an old card you probably have, but you really need this brand new card to finish it.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a bullshit move to do, and also it also kind of moves the timeline.
Super Saiyan 3 LR right after that.
Yeah, it moves the timeline like crazy for Global, because I think now, because Golden Frieza came out so soon, he's not going to be in one of the banners later. I think that's what ended up happening, is that something screwed up along the way. I think it might be Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. Something screwed up where it seems like in a future banner he won't be in it. That's what I remembered.
I mean, they always shift a couple of details about the banners, so I'm sure that's probably accurate. I have no idea where Global's timeline is right now, like as far as if they still need to stall more to hit the 3rd anniversary or what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a real weird couple rides with Global.
No, they could do like in the 1st anniversary, they could like move UI Goku up a month, like from to before, because there's no, I mean, it's not like the UI Goku stuff around game breaking like the LRs are.
I'll say he's still real good, because unlike the LRs, he doesn't have a 6-turn limit on his change ability.
Right, but people have him already, so he's not the cash cow banner that those LR banners are going to be for them.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I did see a lot of people wanting, in Global, as is tradition, they just wanted the thing Japan has now, which is they just wanted Ultra Instinct Goku now. And for one thing,
caught up.
Yeah, they want to get caught up, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. The last time they tried that, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta came out, and he was to be released. And it was funny. I'll give him that. It was really funny to see him do that. But it was very
Global
bad.
Actually got the nice thing to happen here, because Kefla's GSSR banner was still around. And they know to pull now because they know all the Dokkans are actually here. So rather than thinking about it, they know to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And that's always the advantage of Global, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's always what was the advantage. So that was always what it was supposed to be. Is that you're supposed to be able to predict what's coming up next, but Global has decided that they're no longer okay with that, and they're gonna actually just do weird stuff along the way.
Yeah, they still got to make
You still
as much money
know.
as they
I mean,
can.
you still know what's coming. You still can
Yeah.
target what you really want, and you're not going to get sucked in. Well, I mean, it's here to avoid the hype around particular releases. You know, because you know that 2 months from now, this more hype unit is coming.
It's true. And the one time they did drop a unit that was unexpected, even from the Japan side, it was LR Broly, and everyone just wasted their stones on that banner immediately. And then right afterwards came the regret.
Yeah, the dupe.
I mean, that was on one of my poor, unfortunate accounts. So I wasted a lot of stones, but I had a lot of stones, and then it got taken away.
Yeah, there was a lot of things, a lot of funny things happened when LR Broly showed up, let's say.
Yeah. So, you know,
Yep.
we've moved on from those days.
Yeah, we have to, unfortunately. We have no choice but to move along. Speaking of moving along, we have to actually go back to Japan because I totally forgot that this was a thing that was going to happen. I forgot that we're getting a Dokkan festival for Turles.
Oh yeah, I forgot too.
Yeah, I actually kind of.
It's a Dokkan festival?
It's
Yeah.
It's 100% a Dokkan festival for fucking Turles. He's gonna
They're
get
on-
one.
Information.
Yeah,
Every
he does.
year.
They're really on that kick right now for transportation mechanics. Like after a certain amount of turns, he takes a bite at the tree of might fruit and gets stronger.
Yeah, he gets. I don't understand why they're doing this. It's kind of maybe illogical. They were lucky that when this was announced, I had just gotten off of work and I was super fucking tired, and I was almost positive that people were lying. That this was some kind of like weird mirage that showed up in my mind that said Turles is getting a Dokkan festival, because I was like, surely they wouldn't do another Turles thing when Lord Slug is still on the sidelines waiting for his turn up to bat.
Not only that, man. Like this was before they announced the Master UI Goku and Jiren and all that crap. So it was like we all knew Super was ending soon, and we knew something was coming. And it's like the send off for all this is Jilly Turles. Like okay.
Well, so yet, but let's just say that Turles plays a major role in how Super ends.
Throws at a tree of might fruit at the last second.
The two Xenos are actually gonna remove their mask, and they're gonna be revealed to be those fucking little alien raisin guys from the from the Tree of Might. And it's gonna be like, oh shit, Turles was behind this the entire time. And
It
now
was.
Goku and Jiren have to team up to go fight Turles.
That's the new movie. Or new Tree of Might.
Oh, there you go. That new movie. People are saying maybe it's Bardock, maybe it's Broly, but actually it's Turles. He's back. I really don't know. Turles is the weirdest fucking unit to add back. It's a weird Goku
Turles
face.
for some reason. Like,
They-
he was
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
like in the original Turles and his rebirth were both really good. The Ape Turles is like the best ape unit, though I realize that's not much of a compliment. But they really like him, and then they ignore like other movie villains as though they don't exist at all.
Yeah, it's like a weird Dokkan nostalgia the developers have. It's like they really like Turles. They always give him good shit. Even to this day, that Turles is still good on an enemy team.
You just came back in time to hear us talk about Turles. Zen?
He's trying
Actually-
to talk. I think he muted himself.
Wait, what? You guys can't hear me? All right, hang on.
There you go. Now we can hear you when you said that.
So, thank God we got rid of Zen.
How about
Oh,
now?
shit.
Is that better?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, Cordell, he's back. Welcome back, Zen. How do you feel about Turles?
Turles?
Turles, yeah. I said his name right.
Extremely neutrally.
Extreme neutral. That sounds about right. I think the one person I know who's the biggest Turles fan is still Aminal. and he got extremely excited when he heard that there was a Turles. He was maybe the first person I saw when everyone else was going, "What? Turles? Why would they give him a Dokkan festival?" Meanwhile, he was going, "Yes, Turles." And we don't really know anything about him other than he's just going to show up. So look forward to him in April. He'll come some point after the Tournament of Power stuff, I assume.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But that's it for... I think now we're officially done with Global and Japan. So let's give a quick mention to the other Dragon Ball mobile game that's coming out that I don't know much about. Dragon Ball Legends, which was announced it was announced yesterday at some point.
And they did like a larger reveal today.
Oh, so today's going to be more news?
Sort of. I mean, we know there's a story mode now. We're pretty sure it's another gacha game of some sort.
Game, or it's like a Marvel like future fight kind of thing where you get, or like a Star Wars, whatever that Star Wars game is, where you get like your characters with.
Fight for the Future or something. I believe that's the name of the Marvel.
Chili gachas too. I mean, they're just like piecemeal gachas. Is there a difference?
Only
You can earn the credits not just by pulling.
Farm them.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously hard to farm them as opposed to pulling them, but I think it's not like you just pull until you get a character and you're done.
Yeah.
Be more grindy, but less expensive.
It looks to be almost purely PvP, though. A lot of people are noticing, so I'm not sure how much that's going to affect this positively. Maybe.
Oh, it's got a story, but that's about it.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if what other stuff is going to be that's not PvP.
About a largely PvP game, I feel like that might annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. And also, it really isn't helpful that this entire thing is like, our netcode's really good, and then the people behind it are the people behind Xenoverse. So,
Yeah.
kind of like, no offense to that development team, but I'm just going to throw up the X and say vote of no confidence in terms of the PvP. But let's hope that maybe they're able to do it. You never know. People are surprising.
It was with 2 people, so their server had 2 people on it at the time.
Yeah, and it looked fine then, but we'll see. They're already doing signups. There's a subreddit that you can join as well. That is called r/Dragon Ball Legends, all spelled out. That you can go to. You'll recognize some familiar faces if you go there. A lot of people who are into Dragon Ball mobile games mysteriously also show up here. But yeah, that's all about it for right now. I just wanted to bring it up because you never know. Maybe in the future this will stop being Dokkan and we'll all move on to Dragon Ball Legends. You don't know.
You could tell the burnout for Dokkan's kind of getting to a lot of people because they're desperately wanting like any DBZ mobile to kind of replace it at this point.
I mean, Dokkan's, even in global Dokkan's, 3 years old now. It's a long time. There's basically a new Final Fantasy mobile game every year, if not sooner.
Those really replaced each other, though. Like when Record Keeper came out, people played it, but then when Exvius came out, people weren't like, oh, thank God, I don't have to play Record Keeper anymore. I can play this instead.
Yeah.
It seems like they all kind of coexist.
In like one unhappy...
Dragon Ball 2.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's possible with Dragon Ball 2. Part of the reason is Dokkan is, gameplay-wise, I don't think anyone's going to argue it's a great game. And it's been around as the only option for almost 3 years. And so those 2 factors combined just lead to like a lot of burnout. I think if RuneKeeper had been the only thing here, a new game now, people would have the same reaction.
Concurrently. Maybe. I mean, Dokkan is a little light on the gameplay and high on the wallet, no matter what you compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
No, and that's true, and that's a large part of it. Probably, I think people don't burn out so much on something like RuneKeeper because the gameplay's a little more dynamic and it's more generous. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, the one thing you're definitely seeing is that a lot of people are getting hype for Legends. It's for the reasons you say, is that it's not Dokkan. And any
Yeah.
idea of playing another mobile game with Dragon Ball skin on it that isn't Dokkan is very appealing.
That's why I feel like it's blindsiding people because they're just putting on like basically shaders at the moment. Like they refuse to see that this game is going to be as great as they think it is just because it's not Dokkan.
Yeah, so
But yeah, we'll see when it comes.
yeah, I just really hope that this isn't a bunch of people putting their hopes on this one thing to finally get rid of Dokkan, just to realize that, by the way, I also don't like this game. So now I just don't like 2 Dragon Ball mobile games, but I've already kind of like put my hat out for Legends. But we'll
That
see.
actually made a pretty good point
There are
earlier.
like 3 Dragon Ball mobile games coming out this year.
Yeah.
Are there? Where are the other ones?
There's Legends. There's
X-Keeper or
Bukigiri match or whatever you call it.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was just
That-
a weird Twitter thing that people just put up on. Because that's
Kid
all.
Goku.
What was the third one? I'm sorry. After Bukigiri.
Something like
There's-
X-Keeper, something Z-Keeper.
I don't know. You're Kid Goku, I think, in that one, aren't you?
I actually don't know. It's just Alex put a video on it earlier, and I just forgot the title of it.
Funny name. I hope it's that.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see if maybe one of the 3 mini DB mobile games can finally stop Dokkan. But chances are no. They'll all just exist in like a weird ecosystem.
Well, Bandai just in general needs to work on their payment scheme because they have some of the worst payment schemes there are. Because like sort of what I was saying earlier, when Zen made a good point about Final Fantasy, like I'm playing Opera Omnia right now, and I still play Final Fantasy Xevious, and I play those games because they're actually pretty light on your wallet. You can play them for a long time. Like Dokkan, if you stop spending money, you stop becoming relevant so fast. So if these DBZ games follow that same sort of format, they'll die so much faster than Dokkan is because people aren't going to do this twice.
Yeah. And that's kind of Legends for the time being. And I think that's a good way to finally segue to the final thing we need to talk about, and then we can end this show. Which is other games. Really should come up with a better name. But I am unable to. I could barely. It took us like this many, like a couple years to come up with another name besides Modcast, so give me a break. Either way, other games. This is where we talk about other games we've played that are not Dokkan related, even though I've been playing a lot of Dokkan because there was actually a lot of stuff to play. So why don't we start with Cornell? Because I think you're maybe the most likely to have not played another game because you have a family. But I'll still ask you, have you been playing any other games?
I was out of Opera Omnia, and I'm back in it, and I really like it. I got back into it, and I really like it because they're putting out really fast-paced content updates, and they're pretty challenging now. I think I got bored with it early on because I just sort of grinded everything up, and I just autoed the whole game. And it's gotten more interesting. And they just came out with Titus, who's one of my favorite Final Fantasy guys, so I play that.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good.
I play Exvius all the time. That's my...
Yeah, I see you and Mayo talking a lot about that game.
Exvius guy.
Yeah, you're also a big Final Fantasy guy.
Clearly, right?
Yeah, otherwise why would you be playing the Final Fantasy games?
2 separate Final Fantasy mobile games.
Yeah.
Fit really well into sort of my my life balance because it's the kind of thing I can like play around with something while the kids are in the tub or whatever, and don't have to put on headphones and block out my family.
So it really helps out with the family situation then. That's good. So for anyone out there who has a family and you've been worried about what kind of other gacha games you could get into, Cornell recommends the Final Fantasy ones. Exvius and Opera Omnia. Sorry, I'm not going to be able...
I like how all 3 of you are pronouncing all the names of the games differently, and so far only one of you has been right on one of the games.
Brave Exvius, because it's EX.
One that you were correct about. That was you with Brave Exvius.
So it's not pronounced Opera Omnia?
Omnia. Ah, yeah. Such a long name.
Isn't it? Just
It is a really
Opera
long
Omnia?
name. Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. It's way too long.
Yeah.
Why not just call it Dissidia?
Console game is just called. The console game
Yeah.
is just Dissidia.
Well, people aren't going to be so stupid to think like, oh man, remember that old PSP game? I think it's now on the mobile shop. Wait, this isn't the the old game I remember. I think people would be able to like not confuse the two.
Woki, we're gonna have to stop you. People are gonna be stupid enough not to. You already know the answer to that is wrong.
All right, fine.
See, it's just like a
That's a good
play
point.
on the number 16. Like it's supposed to be a sly way of saying Final Fantasy 16.
I see. Okay.
Maybe.
EXVS. It's like 16 sounded out.
Ex-
I think we're probably gonna get a 16 though.
You think?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance.
You don't think they'll skip it? Go straight to 17?
At the rate they're going, they might just keep making Final Fantasy 15 DLC for the next 10 years.
I mean, that's possible. They spent so many years on 15 before deciding to just say, screw it, this is Final Fantasy 15. Like a crazy number of years. But, alright, that's what Connell's been playing. Jex, what have you been playing that isn't Dokkan?
Currently, Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Since its release and daily since then, I find it's very nice in you because I've only spent money because I wanted to rather than being forced to. And another game called Dungeon Defense, which is like this weird little indie platformer where you have 5 skeletal-looking NPC, like the NES days characters, just defending a wall. I don't really know how to describe it, but I find it addicting.
Is it like a tower defense, or is it more than that?
That'd be a good way to say it. It's like try to break down your wall. So I go in and I use the 5, like, you're ending against the good guys. So good guys try to raid your castle. You have 5 dudes who try to stop them from breaking into the castle. I thought it looked really dumb, but it's surprisingly addicting. And then every day it just gets harder and harder, but you can level up your units, etc. And the game is very good about, like, hey, we have optional purchases, but you can actually complete the game without buying a single thing. They outright tell you that. So that, to me, was like a sign of good faith. So I kept playing it after that.
Alright, sounds... So you were able to find like a good little break from all the gacha despair.
Oh, yeah.
That's always a good thing. Sounds like fun. Alright, Zenrot, what do you got for other games?
True. My mobile game go-tos are always Fire Emblem Heroes, Opera Omnia, and Dual Links, depending on my mood. But I think I've talked about all of those already. Been a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters lately. It's improving finally.
Is the netcode finally
Post the
working?
release of the game. Yeah, mostly.
Alright. Alright.
It's not that great in ranked matches, and the rank system is like the worst designed thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And you still have to connect to a lobby and like give your friend directions on how to get to your house to actually play together. But it's fun when it works.
Alright, well, what's your current fighting roster looking like?
On Perfect Cell and Super Saiyan Goku.
Alright, and you're doing pretty good with that team then?
I mean, I just kind of picked it up the other day. I was using Vegeta for a long time, but as everybody knows, I don't like the character. I don't like Cell either, but Cell's super broken, so, you know, something's got to give somewhere.
You have to use some characters you like for this game.
Every character I hate is, like, super overpowered, so...
Maybe it's just Fighter's way of testing you. Like a god star.
16 is the best character in the game, and nobody gives a shit about Android 16 as an actual character. And then Perfect Cell is really good, and Vegeta has the best assist, and it's just a fucking mess for me, personally.
Yeah, that's a weird way of looking at that game, but yeah, kind of. I mean, I like that. That's kind of the thing I liked, is that a lot of people you wouldn't expect to be good are actually pretty good. But then when I think deep and hard about myself, am I actually going to play Android 16? The answer is usually no. Except for he does have a pretty good dunk move, so I use it for that.
Basketball dunk? Yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's nice. Any other games you got playing?
Between that and Monster Hunter and my mobile games, that's pretty much all my gaming time. I don't have much time to do anything else.
Yeah, for PS4.
Tell us about Shonen Or.
Wait, Jex, what were you saying something?
Oh no, I was saying mostly, if you're not including mobile on the PS4, I'm playing a lot of Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne, that's right.
Was it like free or something recently?
Yeah,
it is free. This was before it was free. I'm just happy it's free now because I can stream it and people are like, hey, I know that game. I'm like, yeah, let's all play it together.
Yeah, because all of a sudden it's all over Twitter, like out of nowhere. So I didn't know what happened to make everybody decide they wanted to pick that game up all of a sudden.
It's because it's free.
PS Plus is discontinuing PS3 games and PS Vita games and PS Plus. So to soften that blow, they released like a bomb-ass game like Bloodborne and Ratchet and Clank. So there's like some good free-to-play games that people are all talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to get that if it's still free.
Yep.
It still is. You totally get it.
Hello.
Say it again, sorry?
I was just expressing excitement.
Oh, okay. You should. Ratchet and Clank is really good, and then Bloodborne is also pretty good. You know, one has better guns. And that's Ratchet and Clank. That's pretty fun. Let me see. Let me go to my games now. What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Shonen, as is always. I'm not going to go into a 12-minute explanation like I did last time about the current meta.
You have to talk about All Might.
I do have to talk about All Might because they revealed in maybe the most are you listening now, motherfucker, move to me. They decided to say, like, hey, we're going to be releasing All Might, the dude you would want from Hero Academia that's not Deku, in, like, a full cowl form. So I immediately was like, well, fuck me, I don't have any orbs left, because I went not super crazy, but I went crazy enough going for... I did 2 multis. Trying to go for... not Tsubasa, Bruno. There you go. I got Tsubasa on my first multi because the new banner is Captain Tsubasa and Bruno from JoJo Part 5 because this is a weird fucking game. And Bruno kind of breaks the game because he's a JoJo support for gangsters. And he makes a card that was...
He's still out. Like, can you still get him?
Bruno? Bruno's always in the banner. Bruno is a permanent card.
Is he featured, though?
Yes, he's still in the Captain Tsubasa banner, and he will always just be in the banners from now on. It's like Bassoon. He's like a game-breaking card that is always in the game that you always have a chance to get, so you can get more overboost.
You get him and Mista without too much difficulty, I might play that game again.
The good thing is that all you need is Geo. And Geo and Bruno literally beat every single team but one. There's only one team that they cannot...
Because I have Geo, and he's almost maxed out, I think.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that the Geo, who is the main protagonist for JoJo Part 5, when he was released, he was good, but he was kind of quickly forgotten just because he was good, but he was super fucking slow. So it was like almost no point to him. And he unfortunately was also a student, so that made him super vulnerable to... Sket Dance, which means he couldn't be in the back, but then he couldn't be in the front because then Bobobo would immediately stop all his shit. So it was kind of like a catch-all, like you were fucked if you were using Geo, which is what got Zen to eventually stop playing the game. That's why you dropped the game, is because he was your number one dude, and it turned out that he had too many weaknesses in him. But then Shonen decided to release one single card, and now Geo is basically on the top of the heap again. He's, I want to say...
very good to know.
Yeah, him and Bruno are the number one team. The only other team that might be as good as them is the Waifu Time Stop team, which is the one that uses Aya in it. That's the
Dio on it?
No, that would be hilarious. If a Dio card is ever released, you could...
It's just the way you said it was the Waifu Time Stop.
The reason I say it is because Aya has an ability that immediately, like, cuts down the cooldown passes of everyone on the team by 15%. So she literally stops Geo from doing his move. And you need Geo to do your move because that's the end gamer. And if he can't use that move, then your team will lose. That's just the way it will go. But besides that, they're finally releasing All Might, and we don't know anything about what he does, but he's a raid unit. and raid units are in Shonen, to compare it to Dokkan, is like an extremely hard. It's like Super Battle Road, but with less bullshit. That's maybe
I fought one of them. That's probably pretty fair. I fought Kaiba. It's the only one I've done.
yeah, and Kaiba's the easiest one.
Other ones than Kaiba and Vegeta.
Yeah, they've done Kaiba, Vegeta, Yunkel from Dragon Quest, the manga. I don't remember his name. And then All Might is the newest one. And for each one of these raids, they do something different. So, for example, Kaiba was just a real asshole. He was like the end-all be-all, like, he would poison your entire team, and then he would launch his super against everyone, and he was just kind of a asshole to fight. Vegeta was maybe the most pain in the ass because they gave him Zenkai. So every time you came close to beating him, he would get an insane power boost. And by the end, like, if you got yourself in a bad lock, he would basically just keep ulting you and you would never be able to win. So Vegeta, like, and this is not Namek Saga Vegeta is harder than any Dokkan Festival Vegeta ever. Because literally one time I had to pay for 3 revives before Vegeta ever fucking died. He just literally, I would revive, and then he would ult me. I would revive, and then he would ult me, and then I would revive, and then finally he died. And it was he's the only one I didn't farm because I was so fucking angry at Vegeta. And there's Hyunkel, which is the physical guy whose main thing was you had to beat him before he launched his ult, or he would kill you. Like, literally, his move was so powerful, he would end the game. Like, his ult would just auto-kill, so you had basically 3 minutes to beat him. And that was his gimmick. And then All Might's gimmick is that he has guts. So he has the ability to come back to life up to 8 times in a row. And so far, it's looking like that's crazy, and that's also maybe what his card's going to be based around, is being able to revive himself.
Sounds like Fate, dude, with the 8 times in a row reviving thing.
Yeah, he's kind of like being full-on Herc, what's the name of his noble phantasm? The 7 Trials of Hercules?
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. It's just based off the Greek myth.
Yeah, the 12 Labors of Hercules, my bad. That's what All Might's going to be able to do, and also it sounds like he's going to be able to keep reapplying guts to himself. So for this fight, they're like, make sure you bring in some really strong physical dudes, otherwise you might be completely fucked to fight All Might. And I'm super excited, but also I'm afraid that if my team's not good enough, I'm not going to be able to get All Might, and that scares me. But I'll say good on Shonen for literally releasing an extremely hyped card for free.
Yeah, absolutely. When any game does that.
Yeah. And I hope he's good too, because I would love to have him to... There's a lot of like bad stuff going on because he's a heart type, and that's, you know, I'm gonna start talking about 12 minutes into Shonen. I just can't right now, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll wait for All Might to come out, and then maybe if his implications mean anything, I'll talk more about it next time. And before I go, the other game I played that was not a mobile game was Jet Set Radio. I decided to play some Jet Set Radio.
School.
Yeah, mainly because I was waiting for... I forget. I saw that the original Xbox controller was coming back.
Okay.
You okay there, Zen?
Funny story. So I came over to sit down and plug it in, and then it turns out that the other end wasn't actually plugged into the wall. So.
So you missed my whole All Might bit, right?
I missed the entire thing after Vegeta ulting you on loop after you kept reviving.
All Might has guts, so he'll be able to revive himself up to 8 times. And that's
8 times?
8 times. That's his gimmick. I don't know what that means, but we'll see how the fight goes. It's looking like it's going to be super hard.
Yeah, that sounds kind of shitty.
It does. Also, this All Might is based off of the fight from when Deku and Bakugo had to team up to fight him. Because all raid units are supposed to be based off of edgelords. And so the only way to make All Might as an edgelord is when that one time he had to pretend to be a villain.
Faking being a villain. That's kind of funny, though.
And I'll say that's it for now. I think it's finally time for us to say goodbye. That's all we got. So...
Solid amount of other games this week. I'm proud of everybody.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. It's good to know that we all don't just are slaves to Dokkan anymore.
We've all grown as people.
Mm-hmm. All right. So say goodbye, Jex, because I need to hear you say goodbye.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was nice talking to all of you guys, and goodbye.
Konal, why don't you also say goodbye?
I guess. Thanks.
There you go. So now, Zen, you already said goodbye, so that's good. And then I'll say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.